Hey guys, welcome to Panthers Forecast. We got ourselves a revenge game this Sunday in Queen City with Rico trying to get his revenge against the Cowboys, and then we have Jadeveon Clowney coming back to Charlotte to see if he can get revenge against the Panthers. I just wrote down today some notes that I think concern me about the upcoming game this Sunday against the Cowboys, and then some things that the Panthers need to do to help get ourselves back into a winning streak, so that way we can try to keep this fight for the division title alive. Seeing as that's probably going to be the only way we can probably get into the playoffs this year. But with further ado, my first concern is just the scoring capability of the Cowboys. They ranked, I believe, fourth in the NFL with 30 points per game, and then the Panthers, we rank about 20, I want to say 24. We score about like 20 points per game. So, the Cowboys are kind of built to have shootouts, and they score a lot of points, which is going to bring me to my next one key matchup. It's going to be George Pickens versus Michael Jackson. We saw in last week's game the Dolphins were able to get back into the game with a late touchdown throw against Michael Jackson with Jalen Waddle. And, the Cowboys are going to be attacking that matchup, and you're going to see a lot of vertical routes with George Pickens going up against Michael Jackson. JC Horn, as we all know, he's not always going to be following the best corner. And Turpin can also get in there as well. And there could be some matchups with Turpin against Mike Jackson. Although JC Horn, he hasn't really given up like a big, long touchdown, like similar to what Jalen Waddle did on Michael Jackson last week. But he can still, George Pickens can make some great catches, and, that can still happen on JC. I'm just more worried about it on Michael Jackson's part. Because, with Mike Jackson, most of the times he does let the receivers get behind him, and, they can have a big play. And with Dallas being like and short of they're a shootout capable team. That's concerning, and with the Panthers, us not putting up too many points on the board. We gotta minimize that. So that's a key matchup to watch is George Pickens versus Michael Jackson. The other concern is we have Chuba out on this game, and we're also gonna have Taylor Moden out. So Josh Nijman's going to be starting. And the one game I think he did try to take over for Josh Nijman, it wasn't too good on the part with Bryce Young. He was still getting sacked. He was still getting pressured. And then I believe Josh Nijman was also having some offensive holding calls. So we can't have that, kill us on the drives. Another issue and concern is Dallas's ability to create sacks. They got some pretty good edges. I think so far I've seen some of them are questionable, but they have like Marshawn Nealand, Dante Fowler Jr. and Asa Ajuwinza. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but yeah, they got some good playmaker ability. And then also, I want to say they have about 10 sacks this year, so they ranked about 19. So that's middle of the pack in the NFL, whereas the Panthers, we only have 5 sacks this year, and we rank second to last, where we're 31st in the league. So we got to protect Bryce, and, most of Bryce's early turnovers have been coming from, pressure up the pockets and him either not getting rid of the ball quickly and throwing an errant throw, or him not getting the ball away quickly and then trying to run. And then instead of trying to throw it out and, have a second and 10, he either gets sacked or fumble. And this is where the, Bryce early turnovers and us being in a hole. And especially against the Cowboys, if we start turning the ball over on our own side, we're just spotting the Cowboys, either 7 free points, 3 free points, and we're just going to be putting ourselves, further down the hole. So that's a concern that I have. But on some sort of like good news with the injuries, we did see that Jalen Coker and Jatavion Sandler would probably be a game time decision, and we definitely need Coker. JT Sanders can make some big plays. We still have our other tight ends, Trimble and Mitchell Evans, making some big plays, but Jalen Coker is the huge one because we're going to have to attack Dallas. We're going to have to be putting our foot to the metal when it comes to this game against the Cowboys. The revenge game, the aspect of Rico Dowdle success. We'll see if we can get Rico Dowdle to duplicate the same success as Miami. I don't know if he'll have 200 yards. It would be nice. It would be nice, but I always felt like the Panthers should have had like a better Russian attack. Our Russian attack, it showed up against Miami, but Miami's the bad team. But I'm going to be watching this game to see if we can duplicate it. I think Rico can probably get about 100 yards. I'm going to keep him like probably somewhere between 80 and 120. I think he can get on the Cowboys. I don't know if he's going to get 200 or up into the 180s, but I wouldn't be mad if he did. But that's my thought on the Rico Dowdle success, if he can carry the same success he had against the Dolphins, against the Cowboys. I don't think we're going to see that same success, but I think he should be somewhere between like maybe 80 yards or 120. We haven't been necessarily running the ball great this year. I felt like we were running the ball great last year, or like last 8 games of the season. I feel like we were doing a better job running the ball. Another issue. Another point I wanted to bring up. Now, what do the Panthers need to do to win? This is where Coker comes really important. We need Excel, we need Coker, we need T-Mac, and we need Jimmy Horn to. We need Dave Canales to use those 4 receivers, and we need to attack vertically. I saw the one game against the Cowboys, against the Giants, where Russell Wilson was throwing those moon balls to Malik Neighbors, and he was able to get behind the corners and the safeties. We really don't have that sort of speed demon or that great receiver like Malik Neighbors. T-Mac is really good, and this could be a game. I would like for us to have T-Mac maybe have his deep vertical routes, or maybe more deep post in the inside, because it always seems like when we run a deep vertical route with T-Mac on the side, he's always making these great, one-hand catches, but they're always out of bounds. Like, he doesn't really have enough space between, the field, the defender and the out of bounds line. He's always right there catching in one hand, and then the defender can push him out, or he'll just catch it out of bounds. I think we need him to be more in the middle with more of a deep post. So we need that. We need XL to start trying to push it up vertically. Jimmy Horn as well. We need Jimmy Horn to start pushing it up vertically as well. But we also need protection, and we're going to see Josh Nijman holding up Bryce, and the other offensive player, Ikem Ekwonu, and the Panthers' own line stopping defensive fronts, stunts from the Cowboys to get to Bryce. Bryce is going to need some time in the pocket to be able to exploit some of those matchups and hopefully see if we can get it down the field, because we can't be doing this sort of nickel and diamond with the Cowboys. We got to start picking up the pace, and we got to start attacking more vertical routes against the Cowboys, and probably, I would say with Jimmy Horn, we can do a sweep every now and then. It works better with Jimmy Horn than Excel. Excel has a lot of speed, but I think in order for the sweep to work with Excel, we have to catch the defense off guard, and everybody has to do their blocking assignment well. Whereas Jimmy Horn just has a lot of speed. He's shorter and he's more craftier, so he can sort of get out of it. Whereas Excel does have speed, but he's a bit more bulky and a little bit stocky, Another thing, we have to be disciplined in the tackling game when going up against Dallas's running back. I think his name, their running back, is Let's see if I'm going to get it right. Javonte Williams, yeah. Sort of like the last game against the Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Etienne, where Nick Scott came down, had a bad tackle on him, and people were whiffing, and Christian Rose boom, and he was able to take it to the house. That's the same thing that can happen with the Cowboys. Javonte Williams can take it to the house on us, so we have to minimize the piss poor tackling. And I'm kind of interested to see how our young defensive ends go up against Dallas, and then also stopping Dak Prescott's running ability. We, Kyler Murray didn't run too much on us, and I was kind of surprised he was still able to do his thing. But even with Dak Prescott, he is dangerous because he can still make some good plays down the field, and he can also run and extend the play. So our young defense is going to have to get some sacks on them. We were going to have to create some pressures on them and get to them. We can't allow them to escape or get hit Pickens, somewhere down in the middle, or Turpin, just being somewhere wide out, and then nobody is around them. So. That's something that we got to do to stop the Cowboys from winning this game. And I think we can possibly it's going to come down to just our defense, our defense, our matchup against George Pickens, and it's going to come down to also Dave Canales having adding more vertical routes, adding more deep posts, and us trying to capitalize on those verticals and deep posts, and then with Bryce Young's protection in the pocket. So the key points of this game is going to be, one, George Pickens versus Michael Jackson. That's going to be a big one to watch. And then it's going to be the O-line protection of Bryce. And then hopefully, if the O-line protection is there, hopefully Dave Canales is calling and Brad Isaac are calling the right plays to have us go more vertically. We need Jimmy Horn. We need Bryson Tremaine. Hopefully Coker gets to play more. I know he's a game time decision, but hopefully he gets to play more and attack the vertical routes. We need XL to attack the vertical routes. We need Hunter Renfrow to attack more vertical routes. Not Hunter Renfrow, Bryson Tremaine to attack more vertical routes. I think in this game, it's not like I'm a big Hunter Renfrow hater. I actually like him on the team, but we're going to need speed. We need a youth movement in this game. And then the other key is we have to tackle Javonte Williams. We cannot allow what Trevor Etienne did to us down in Jacksonville happen with this running back, because it's just going to be sort of the same thing. He's just going to take it down, and this. I'm telling you, this Dallas team, it's a shootout. So, and our young defense, our young defense needs to step up, and I'm interested to see how many sacks we can possibly get on Dak. See if we can keep him away from running the ball whenever we get close to him, and hopefully he's not running for a first or extending the play. So those are some things that I'm interested about and also worried about against this game against the Cowboys. But yeah, that was it for today. I'm also going to be doing a live reaction to the game against the Cowboys this Sunday. So just, come by, drop in. And all right, take care. Hopefully we get this win this Sunday. All right, peace.